Welcome to the fourth devlog. In this devlog, I am going to be making a lobby and adding checkpoints. This is because I am trying to make the game, at the very least, functional. As I am planning to be playtesting the game with friends in the future, so they can experience the game firsthand and give me feedback for it. But now with that out of the way, let's get into the devlog. The first thing I decided to do was to make a lobby. This is because I wanted the player to spawn in a place that was not in the middle of the racetrack, but also because I wanted to understand how teleporting works in Roblox. But I put that aside for now, as I also needed to make the checkpoints. I wanted the material of the checkpoints to be translucent. This is so I can see the checkpoints and still see the racetrack clearly while testing. So, I decided to pick the force field material. I then adjusted the size so it will be long enough to stretch across both sides of the track, and scattered the checkpoints around the track, with the green checkpoint being the beginning and the end. I continued doing this until I went back to the starting checkpoint. After doing that, I named the checkpoints in the order they are placed around the map. The reason for this is because I am planning on adding scripts to them separately. The script is going to include all of the checkpoints, and they all need to be touched by the player to be counted as a lap. This is so you cannot just keep going through the starting checkpoint and the game counts it as a lap. Here I decided to make another checkpoint for the end instead of there being one checkpoint for the start and finish. This is to hopefully make the code more understandable. But this decision is not permanent. Now we get to the scripting. Seeing that I made a lobby now, I needed to add an intermission between the game to add breaks. So I made a text label GUI with the code that I am going to make will count down until it reaches 0. The intermission is only 15 seconds long because there is nothing else you can really do outside of the race right now. But I might increase it depending on the amount of other things that you can do there. But I will focus on that for another time. Now the next step was for the race lights to appear and count down after the intermission countdown ended. So I decided to make it a remote event so it can be sent to all of the players at the same time. But before that, the player's character has to be teleported into the race to actually play the game. The issue was that I didn't even know how to teleport the character at all. All I knew is that it had something to do with the character's humanoid root part, the character itself and its C frame. Since the humanoid root part and character is what holds the model together, and the C frame controls its position. So I just started testing it out to maybe learn something from myself. I was giving the player's character a variable and seeing my other scripts to understand how to hopefully make it work. But it would come with the same error, that the C frame or the position were not a part of the character. Eventually, I just gave up as I knew that I could not do this alone, so I began to search for tutorials and found many of them. But this one by Tech with Mike definitely stood out to me the most. Not only was it a tutorial about teleporting, but they had a full playlist of tutorials for different ways of teleporting. Of course, I only needed one tutorial right now, but that is a lot of dedication. So I followed on with the tutorial. And it worked. So now with the hardest part out of the way, I decided to add some music during the races. And found this audio in the store. I really like the atmosphere it sets during the races. I might keep it when the game is public. I then made more changes like the checkpoints collisions are during the race lights countdown. And changed the teleportation area to the track. And now you are all caught up. Hope you enjoyed this devlog and see you next time.